I hate to break this to you, but your videos have about 5 seconds to prove they deserve to exist, less if it's a short. In those first opening moments, your viewer's brain is silently cycling through a series of 4 critical questions. You have to answer the first 3 in your opening, or they're not going to stick around. That last question is one that you must answer before they click away if you ever want them to do something about what they just watched. With 20 years of experience as a TV reporter and video storyteller for business, I'm going to break down exactly what these 4 questions are and how you can bake them into every piece of content so that serious clients know exactly how they can work with you and that they actually take the next step. Maybe not in the first video they watch, maybe not even the second, but if you keep employing this process, you will grow your business. So, are you ready? Let's dive in. This isn't just another video about how to write better hooks, because you have an entire menu of those to choose from on YouTube. I want to talk about how to retain your viewers throughout the entire video. So there is a process that we developed in television news where we not only hook the viewer, but we answer these critical questions so that they can know that this is worth their time. Think about it. Your ideal client, no matter what type of business you're in, whether you're selling products or services, their time is expensive and it's precious. And so they don't have the time to stick around and wait for you to get to the point. They don't tolerate vague, they don't tolerate is this for me, because there's just too many other options for them. So let's start with the first question, which might sound obvious, but I'm shocked by how few people, business owners in particular, take this one seriously. And that simply is, why should I care? I didn't even get to leave the news meeting and start working on my story if I couldn't answer this one. And the bar was pretty high. This is the attention getter. And so many people waste this on stupid small talk. Hey, welcome back to my channel. Hey, thanks for being here. Or they ask a series of questions, or they start with this long preamble. People aren't going to stick around for what you have to say if you don't grab them right off the top. This might sound harsh, but they don't care about you right away, unless they're already a devoted viewer, in which case they'll probably watch your stuff. They care about whether you can solve a problem, a reputational problem, a money problem, a health problem, a relationship problem. You have to be willing to show them exactly what that is without all the small talk. You can get to that later, but right out of the gate, you've got to answer that why should I care question. So instead of opening with something like, today we're going to talk about interest rates, you can hit them straight between the eyes by saying something like, if you're worried that inflation is quietly eating away at your bottom line, you're not crazy. It's true. And in this video, do you see what I mean? And then you just get to the point, because viewers are looking for you to help them decide if this video is worth their time, no matter what platform you're on. So don't leave them guessing, just give it to them straight. Otherwise, your most valuable viewers, the ones who could become clients, are going to see you as background noise and just scroll on to the next thing. Now, before you get into your head about this and think you need to work super hard on every hook and every word, it doesn't have to be that complicated. It can actually be quite simple. Just take a step back, think about if somebody asked you that question, what would you say? In just a few words. Take out all the fluff, don't type it out, speak it out. This is one of the best tips I can give you in terms of delivering to a camera and being that authority. Just speak. Say it like you would say it to somebody right in front of you, instead of trying to wordsmith it in a way that might actually be hard for you to articulate on camera. Now, right after they decide if the topic is relevant for them, the next critical question comes in. Why should I listen to you? That's the skepticism filter. And especially in today's age where people don't know if what they're watching is real or if the person who they're watching is an actual expert, you can't afford to mess this one up. But this is where so many incredible experts get so weird. They either spend 5 minutes listing off their resume and qualifications, boring, or they're way too humble and don't play up why they're the real deal, leaving their viewer to be like, who is this random person? They don't need your life story. They just need enough information to say, okay, you know what? This person knows their stuff, or this person has the right experience. I'm going to stick around and listen to them. And this isn't something conscious that they're saying in their heads. It's just a feeling. It's a vibe. So part of this is also how you come across on camera and making sure that you have that magnetic on-camera presence that will pull them in. If this is something you struggle with, I have a resource in the description that you can grab to help you level this up, starting with your very next video. So instead of trying to put this into too many sentences when you're introducing yourself, you have one go to line that really just gets to the crux of what you do, and then you move on. So if you're a real estate investor, for instance, you could say, I've flipped 500 houses since 2010. If you're a health coach, you can say, I've helped more than 400 women with thyroid issues lose weight. And if you have to list credentials or some kind of qualifier, make sure that they're precisely relevant to the topic you're discussing. You don't have to talk about things that are not relevant to the video. But just answering why they should care and why they should listen to you is still not enough. There's a third question in their minds, and this one is probably the most important one. What am I going to get or learn? Anything vague, anything that leaves them kind of confused or wondering if it's actually going to deliver on what they're asking or what they're here to get, they're going to be gone. So if you're a real estate agent, don't say, we're going to learn more about what's happening with the Toronto housing market in 2026. That's so vague. Start with something like, by the end of this video, you'll know the top 3 things Toronto buyers look for in a showing so you can wow every possible visitor to your home. That makes your brain go, okay, now I'm listening. The difference is that specificity, nailing the exact outcome that they can expect from watching. Don't say, I'm going to teach you about gardening. Say something like, I'm going to teach you exactly which seeds to plant in the early spring months to ensure you have the best flowers come June. When you get really specific, your viewers not only pay attention, they also start to relax because psychologically their brain feels safety. They feel like they're in good hands. They feel like this is going to be something that's worth their time. And the best part about this is that relaxation state or that feeling of safety is going to help you with the very last question that you have to make sure you answer. More on that in a minute. Before I get to that, I want to stack all 3 of those questions in a single statement to give you an example of how you can nail this in the first 10 seconds. Because you might be wondering, okay, I get all 3, but can you put them together for me? All right, are you ready? Let's start with a tax specialist. If you're a business owner who missed a deduction last year, you didn't just lose money, you funded someone else's refund. I've recovered over $4 million in overlooked deductions for my clients, and today I'm giving you the 5-question audit you can run on last year's return in under 10 minutes. That was packed with a lot of information, but if you're someone in that situation, you're probably not clicking away. A child reading specialist. If your child is struggling to read and their teacher says just keep practicing, that advice isn't only incomplete, it could be costing your kids 6 months of progress. I've been an early childhood literacy specialist for the past 15 years, and today I'm going to tell you the 3 types of support your child actually needs. Again, very specific and very outcome-based. I'm sticking around if my kid struggles to read. If you've done your job and structured your story or your video like this, then you're inevitably going to get to the 4th question, which is, what should I do next? You've seeded the fact that you're a specialist or an expert or a coach or that you have something that they can invest in. And now you have to make it brutally obvious what they should do next. Sometimes that means going directly for a pitch. Book this call, join this program, buy this product. Sometimes it's a little bit softer, like download this free resource or subscribe to my channel or leave a comment about a specific question. Don't just say leave a comment. Ask them what they should comment on. This is your call to action, and most creators totally blow this. They either rush the call to action, push it too soon, kind of like asking someone to marry you on the first date, or they bury it with something vague and meek, like, let me know what you think, or if you're ready, or any of those wishy-washy statements that make you sound unsure of yourself. If your viewer has gotten through the whole video and they still don't know, well, what do I do next? Either something they can invest in or some action they should take, some quick win they can get as a result of watching your content, then you really haven't done your job. In fact, I would say your video has failed in its objective. Because if they don't know the step, they won't take any steps. And what's the point of that? They won't see you as someone valuable that they need to come back to again and again. And then your video becomes free consulting instead of lead attraction, which is what we want, right? As business owners. So you're guiding them, you're giving them the answers. And if you feel kind of weird about this, think about it this way. You wouldn't lead someone through a forest when they're lost only to get to the exit and be like, I'm not going to tell them it's here. I'll just let them stand here and figure it out. That is so cruel. You're guiding them. Leaders give directions, they don't leave people hanging. You've given them, 8, 10, 15 plus minutes of gold. You've earned the right to say, hey, here's how you can take the next step. They actually expect that. All right, so I don't want to leave you with nothing to do, right? I want to practice what I preach. So I'm going to give you an assignment right now that will make your next video 10 times better. Take out a piece of paper or a screen that you write with or dictate it in with your voice, whatever works for you, and answer those 4 questions. When you have those answers, try to put together the hook that answers the first 3. If you're struggling, use ChatGPT. I'll put a prompt in the description of this video that you can use to help you come up with a really solid hook that incorporates those things in the next 15 seconds. Then I want you to be really clear on what that call to action is. And I want you to know you don't have to wait till the end to say it. The other thing you need to keep in mind is that sometimes even people who are very interested don't watch the whole way. And if you only wait till the end to bury your call to action, then they may never see it, even if they're perfectly suited and you've done your job with the first 3. So don't be afraid to tease the call to action at the beginning or near the beginning and then say you'll come back to it later. The people who really want it will stick around and get it. When you answer these 4 questions in your content, whether you're doing long form content or short form content, all of a sudden you're not just throwing spaghetti against a wall. You're actually creating video content that will grow your business. You want every piece of content, whether it's long form or short form, to be doing the heavy lifting for you while you go about your life, because you don't have all the time in the world for video marketing. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, make sure you do that and hit the notify bell, because I'm dropping content like this all the time. I also have a lot of resources in the description that can help you get to the next level in your video content, both when it comes to on-camera performance and growing your business with video. And if you loved this video and you want more, check out this one next. It picks up where we're leaving off here.